Hi guys, welcome to my run on Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. I have all the DLC, and we'll be playing turn-based. Let's see. Get rid of these. Being processed right in that camp monument area where it was ground zero, as Brandon Judd was saying. And okay, now we're good. Now, the president will be accompanied by DHS Secretary Mayorkas, turn-based. Last year, and he'll also get a briefing from frontline. Okay. Like the chief of the Border Patrol. But let me show you about why it is about politics. That is this Gallup poll. We're seeing immigration here is surging to the top of voters' concerns. You can see right there, 28% of Americans consider it as the number one issue facing the country. It was only about 20% a month ago. Now, expert trial, no. We'll get the briefing from okay. Know this problem and this crisis best. Nobody better than the chief of the Border Patrol, Jason Owens, to inform. Okay, we'll go relax. We talked to him yesterday. Here's what he says. They need to fix it. Listen. So we need action to fix that broken and funded immigration system to allow for people that want to come into this country and make this country their home. We also have to have consequences for those who ignore our rules and our laws. And finally, let's remind our viewers, we can look back to May of 2023, 9 months ago, as Title 42 was ending. Fox cameras were in the sky with drone shots and on the ground showing the waves of hundreds of migrants coming across. That is slowed largely in part because there is that razor wire and deterrence that the state of Texas has put right along this area to stop it. We're told the group that we just showed you the top of the head used bolt cutters to cut through the wire to get to that area. And we're finally, Harris, I'll leave you with this. I'm just getting the latest numbers across the entire southwest border. There are more than 6,500 total crossings. The majority of those happening out in Arizona and California. And I have been covering it. That, obviously, the hot spot now. Clearly, the president didn't go there, and not sure whether or not the president will meet any of the migrants we showed you that crossed this morning. Remember, in his first Italy visit last January, he did not meet any migrants. Harris? Well, he went to a paso. I mean, there weren't as many people for him to meet. They had cleaned up the streets. They made it look like it was all brand new and shiny. It wasn't shocking that he didn't talk to many people, or any at all. Rick Jenkins, great reporting as always. In focus now, Art Del Cueto, National Border Patrol Council Vice President. What? And your boss, Brandon Judd, wrote a new op-ed that said, go away. Suckered into the border battle he can't win. Dueling border visits from Biden and Trump highlight the current administration's... Go away. Your reaction. Well, that's 100% right, and that's what it comes down to. Look, President Trump is going down to the border because he wants to go down there. That's what it is. And President Biden is going down because he has to. For the last 3 years, he's been saying that the border is secure, that there is no issue. Obviously, everyone in America knows that that is a complete lie. And from day one of this administration, the border has been in chaos. Just on his rhetoric. Then he got rid of policy and it made it worse. And right now, he's going down, pretty much it's the Hail Mary to stay, the rest of the campaign because he wants to get reelected. But if you really wanted to see where the areas were, he'd come down to Arizona or he'd go to San Diego. Arizona, just Tucson sector alone is averaging over 1,500 people a day. Again, I mean, it's like the clock is going backwards on Arizona because it had tripled. Remember, and it was mostly fentanyl. And you and I had talked about that because the big nice story. You fixing up that old sheet? Eagle Pass and all. Told it 100 times. Real quickly, what does the cartel know that we don't? I mean, they're focused now on San Diego and Arizona. So the cartel, it's a very complex situation. They know what they're doing. They have scouts everywhere. They have an unlimited budget. They're constantly watching the patterns of where agents are working, where they're not working. And if you look at some areas where they're having the groups cross, a lot of it is 2.5 to almost 3 hours from a processing center. So they realize that agents got to drive all the way to that area, and that needs to be back open because the gotaways are still, Tucson's still number one in gotaways. You still see fentanyl. You're still seeing carpet shoots in Arizona in certain areas. And that's because
those are the remote areas where the drug cartels are still crossing into the United States. It's so easy to come across, ask for asylum, get released, but you still got areas where they're using carpet shoes because that's where the drugs are coming in.
So tell us what that is.
Carpet shoes. So it's a piece of carpet that they pretty much tie around their shoe, and they walk on the desert. That way they don't leave any type of footprint. That way there's nobody that can come back and say, you know, a time frame on how long they came through here. Those are the tactics that these individuals use to further get into the country and not get detected. And that's why no one even knows how many gotaways have already come into the United States.
Exactly. That and a lot of them I know from living down not far from Nogales. In Tubac, Arizona, I know what a carpet shoe is. That's not just the problem. When they go through, they hang their tennis shoes. That's the gangs coming through, and they hang them from light posts and whatnot.
Shit, flashbacks from part 1.
This is our territory now. That's inside the United States. Arto Quanto, thank you very much. We will bring you all of the movements.
Part 1 was pretty good too, but it was no turn-based. It was all real-time.
Mike Pompeo will join me coming up. Plus, Hunter Biden finally sat down for his long-awaited testimony in front of lawmakers yesterday in the GOP impeachment inquiry into his dad, the president.
What is a god?
I think we had a good deficit about these contradictory statements from Hunter Biden to all the witnesses and evidence we've gathered thus far. So we're going to continue our impeachment inquiry. House Republicans are ready for Hunter Biden to testify publicly. That was the deal that they made to get that behind closed doors talk or interview. His team suddenly wants to pause that. I wonder why. Andy Bigg was in the room, as they say. He's in focus next.
Every day, veteran homeowners are calling New Day to pay off credit card debt that's been piling up. Many were shocked to learn they've been paying 22% of it.
I'll do in the long haul, but not the short haul.
As much as 30%.
That's crazy. That's good.
3 times the interest rate on a New Day 100 PA home loan. Pay off high-rate credit cards and other debt with a lower-rate New Day home loan. Save hundreds of millions thousands. Call 1-800-995-7563. My call.
Later chest congestion. Coming 12 hours of relief. 12 hours.
Use an XDA to give 12 hours of relief for chest congestion in any part day or night. Use an XDA. It comes with a Now try using
I'm Jonathan Wilson, here to tell you about life insurance through the Colonial Penn program. If you're age 50 to 85 and looking to buy life insurance on a fixed budget, remember the 3 P's.
What are the 3 P's?
The 3 P's of life insurance on a fixed budget are price, price, and price. A price you can afford, a price that can't increase, and a price that fits your budget.
I'm 54. What's my price?
You can get coverage for $9.95 a month.
I'm 65 and take medications. What's my price?
Also $9.95 a month.
I just turned 80. What's my price?
$9.95 a month for you too. If you're age 50 to 85, call now about the #1 most popular life insurance plan available
The
through
god
the
woman
Colonial
seated at the table is
Options
clad in
start at
time-worn black
$9.95
armor
a
that
month.
seems too
No
massive
medical
for her to
exam,
move in.
no health
A pale,
questions. Your
slender leg
acceptance
rises
is
from the
guaranteed.
grocery, topped
And this
by a
plan has
hollow face.
guaranteed lifetime
The
rate.
milky skin
So your
stretched
rate can
across
never
it
go up
is
for any
delicate.
reason.
She's
So call
preoccupied with the
now for free
arrangement of
information.
cards on the
And you'll
table.
also get this free beneficiary
With
plan.
each movement,
And it's yours
the
free,
armor squeaks
just for
and
calling.
groans as
So
though
call
breathing
now for
in
free
an
information.
Your brush
Call
with the
1-800-700-2020 for your
That's
free
what
information
you
and your free gift.
Look
That's
upon the cards.
1-800-700-2020. Don't wait. 1-800-700-2020. Call now.
Arrange them to fit what you remember.
It's time. Yes, a time has come for a fresh approach to dog food. Every day, more dog people are deciding it's time to quit the kibble and feed their dogs fresh food from the farmer's dog. Made by vets and delivered right to your door, precisely portioned for your dog's needs. It's an idea whose time has come.
Does everything appear to be in order?
To advance the future of golf,
Good.
PGA of America
Welcome to
chose
the I am there.
with a 5G-powered
One
innovation
half anyway.
that penalizes
She
player
points a
performance
finger
and
in the direction
expands
of the
career
door.
Get your business
Though the
started
movement
with
is
100
slow,
bonus 5G.
rusty pin.
Actually, don't think that you feel those things in life.
Do you remember when we last met? And though you could have broken your pledge when you defeated Theos' Sun and Shadow, you did not.
Trump and Biden's dueling border visits as voters' concerns over the migrant crisis grow. Jesse gives his take on a new state road through tonight on primetime.
Fingertips slowly drag away from the card, faintly creaking as they retreat across the table.
You had need of the gods once before. Now it seems we have need of you. The being that occupied Earth's statue beneath the a visit to a king. What we do not know is what his intentions are. Though Aethys stole
You
a
still
large
owe a
fragment of
balance
your
on this
soul,
semester. I can give
you
you
were
2
strong
weeks.
enough to survive the onslaught and enter the
Get a
in-between.
place to live.
You and he are still connected.
was a job for me.
He has chosen a body made of living otter, perfused with the power of thousands of souls, including yours.
But you're this year.
It should be little difficulty
I didn't
for an
realize
experienced watcher to find you.
boys, that boat. So I got a coach will make history.
Show that I already know.
No, but neither is your body truly alive. Your lungs draw breath, your heart pumps blood, but your flesh is as soulless as a hollow bone. That is, until I return you.
She delicately places a card upright on the table. The archipelago soul flowing out of a pillar of altar.
A live look now. Defense Secretary Lord Austin is testifying before the House Armed Services Committee on that secret hospitalization, the time when he vanished off the scope as our exec debt. And at least for 3 days, the White House didn't know where he was either.
Their
He didn't
souls
check
remain
in.
in Aethys
He,
still.
we have found out,
You
is
have the
battling
power to
prostate
save
cancer.
them.
We hope he's okay.
Serve me and I
Today,
will
he is
return you
before
to the
that
body.
committee, though, taking questions
don't,
on what
and
should have
return to
happened
the wheel.
and what will happen in the future and what things are changing, that sort of thing, so that this doesn't happen again.
Good.
He has apologized. He
Before
said
you
he should have
become
taken
Aurora
different
of my
steps.
herald,
I can say this, the president should have been talking to him on a daily basis and should have known that he was
The sockets
missing
of
in
her
action,
eyes
if you
darted,
will, off
leaving
the
the
sex
pits of a death
death
gazing
staff,
out at you.
because we have so much going on around about. Why aren't they
then
talking
you can
daily?
look to your own face.
This is
The beyond
happening.
would lead
When
you
it
back
makes
to your own
news
time.
and point,
to the
we will
world
bring it to you.
mortals.
But right now, he's kind of going back and forth and has again apologized and taken responsibility.
We'll go female.
We're able to confirm a lot of the wrongdoing through Hunter Biden's testimony.
There were lots of things said today that evidence we've already got and witnesses we've already talked to contradict what Hunter Biden said.
Joe Biden was not just involved, he was a participant in these activities.
The next phase now is to bring Hunter in for a public hearing and hear from the other Biden associates.
House Republicans now planning the next steps, as you just heard from the chairman of Oversight in their impeachment inquiry into Hunter Biden's father, President Biden. This all fits together. They
Good dwarf.
tie it together. Yesterday, his son Hunter gave a 7-hour closed-door interview with those lawmakers in Oversight. And he was under oath. He claimed he did not involve his dad in his business dealings, despite what seems like a lot of evidence that he did. A lot. Here's Hunter Biden's take on yesterday's marathon session.
Hunter, how did it go? How'd it go?
Great. Oh, he said great. Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says public testimony is next. After months of demanding an open forum, now Hunter Biden's attorneys don't want that. Here's what they wrote. There's nothing left to ask, answer, say, or do. The political charade should finally come to an end. End quote. Democrats with exactly what one would expect.
That this whole thing really has been a tremendous waste of our legislative time and the people's resources.
That first hour of this much anticipated testimony was the nail in the coffin to what is a complete bogus and sham impeachment inquiry. They've gotten a whole
I like the Fury.
of the great state of Arizona.
Yeah, I like the Fury a lot.
And oversight committees and border security caucus co-chair.
Electricity.
You were inside
Okay.
the room, as we say, in that hearing yesterday. First of all, a couple of just highlights that stood out to you.
Well, we're not supposed to get into specifics, so I'm going to give you two general highlights. Okay. First of all, you can't use one's addiction as both a sword and a shield, right? I mean, you can't ignore it and give us great answers when you think it benefits you, and then use it as a shield when you don't want to tell us what goes on. The second thing is, you can't. It's just bizarre how you can say, well, that didn't happen, but if it did happen, I never told my dad about my business.
I'll take Tom's reach.
Some of these things were just so absolutely contradictory that they were almost within the same breath, where this happened, but then it didn't happen. And so I think when the transcript comes out, it's going to read well for them because they did a great job putting it for a read. But that's but the reality is, yeah. But when you get down to it and you start parsing the words, you start realizing, oh yeah, that's very interesting.
These are some words that were reported along with what you said, that, he blamed his drug addiction, and then he would say, I made that up. Is that an excuse? I mean, if your drug addiction is what it is, and then you make stuff up, is that a defense?
It's not really defense, and it's actually incredible because things that he said he made up, actually we have other witnesses that said that X and Y and Z happened, and he's in there like, well, this I made that up, or I was stoned, or whatever he may have said in that deal. But I mean, we have other witnesses that corroborate the truthfulness of it.
Yeah, and depending on where he said those things that he made up, if any of them were under oath, we call that lying under oath. But we'll have to see where he said things that he made up. Okay, we are all over our top story today. Congressman President Biden and former President Trump.
Alchemy survival. Good.
Just a few hours from now. And those trips are emphasizing
Weapons. Let's see. What have you ranged with your spells? And up close, what are we going to do with you?
But there are big differences, too, in the places where they're going that we've been pointing out this hour. In just the last 5 days, the Eagle Pass Station, where one of two that they have there, where former President Trump will be, has seen more than 2,000 illegal immigrants come across. Contrast that to Brownsville Station, where Biden will visit, just 46 encounters during those same 5 days. Senator Josh Hawley on the show yesterday.
What it says is that Biden doesn't care. This is total contempt for the American people. For Joe Biden to go stand in some parking lot 3 years after he opened the border and say, oh, see, look, it's working. My policies are working. This is an outrage. It is the middle finger to middle America, and it's time he was held accountable for it.
Your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, this is like Kamala Harris going down and having a margarita in El Paso and saying she went to the border. That's what Joe Biden is. And the difference here, too, is Donald Trump, President Trump, he wants to be at the border. He wants to get there. And I'll tell you what, I was just down at the border last Monday again in Arizona. And right now, that's the focal point, Harrison. You know that because of where you live down in southern Arizona. I mean, it is the focal point. And Donald Trump gets it. And Joe Biden, he's oblivious to it. His handlers are oblivious to it. This is a photo op for him to try to say, I care, please re-elect me. That's what this is about.
I wonder if anybody will point out that part of the reason why Brownsville and other areas of Texas are doing better now is because that state has put up containers, huge containers of razor wire, and they'll do that wherever it's needed. I'm wondering, will Arizona ever get to that point? We'll watch for that. Quick yes or no, and then we got to go.
Not under not going to happen.
All right.
Interesting, listener. She wants a lover right now, but not no brother. You ain't gotta have a lot of money to get undercover. Now she's a fine sister. Fear she's missing it. Learn about life, not old black bullshit. Gave a baby. She now in the trove of crib. That's why every time I turn around, the neighbors get mad sick.
Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo next.
Go forth now, Rockfield, my parents. Know that I do not give you this
If you
title
struggle
lightly.
with sleep apnea,
When the
you should
time
check out
comes, you will
Inspire.
have the power to reveal the souls that cling to you. To open the gateway from the
Inspire.
in-between
Sleep apnea
to the
innovation.
waking world.
Learn more and view important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
If I wasn't
Fine,
a clinical
Immerse.
psychologist, I think I would have become a
Learn his
veterinarian.
plans.
If I could stand the
When
sight
I
of
have
blood,
paused to
which I
talk to
can't
you,
really,
I will
so
summon you.
maybe
With a
she's
quick
right
gesture
back.
of her hand,
My name
you
is
feel
Dr.
a
Pierre.
sharp pain
Like any
in what
clinical
would be your
psychologist
chest.
since
The
1991, I
pain
was
continues,
licensed.
intruding
And I love
deeper
being a
into your
clinical
soul.
psychologist because
Looking
I
down,
like helping
you see
people.
a
I was
small
inspired to take
lump of
balance of
darkness
nature,
boiling
and then when I
within
started
you.
doing some research into the
The
product, I
darkness
thought,
lingers there,
sounds good.
but the
Let me give
pain
it a
abates
try.
and fades
So I started
entirely
taking
within the
balance of
span of a
nature
few
about
seconds.
2.5 years ago. What I really like
Okay.
about balance of
Do
nature is
not
that it
fear
has
harm.
fruits and
It
vegetable
will not harm
ingredients.
you unless you
I feel
choose to
great,
cross
and because
me.
I feel great,
I
I'm
trust
able
it
to
will
do
not
everything
harm
that I
you.
want to do.
Her
I
gauntleted
tell
hand
people
gestures
that
to the
balance of
dwarf,
nature is
hovering
a
nearby.
wonderful supplement because I truly
The
trust
dwarf
the
nods,
product.
contorts his
I really
face
love
with his
taking
odd
balance of
smile.
nature.
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off plus $10 off any additional sets as a preferred customer by using discount code Fox News.
Sweet. Until they're short.
Fun weekend.
Was that necessary? No. Neither is a long weekend. Paycom employs their own payroll, so you can fix problems before they become problems. Get Paycom and make the unnecessary unnecessary. See you down the line.
At SimpliSafe, we designed the #1 rated home security system powered by 20% professional monitoring for half the cost of traditional home security. So you stay safe for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Dale used to hide his smile. Now, it's Swishy Time. He uses TheraBreath Anti-Cavity Mouthwash for 24-hour cavity
The
protection.
return to your body feels
Try
like waking
TheraBreath
after a
Mouthwash.
It's a
fitful
better
jolting sleep.
mouthwash.
Look for
The
TheraBreath
rocking of the
Kids
ship
stores
sends
today.
pain jolting
Do
through
you
your
have a life
veins.
insurance policy you no
Crash
longer
irregular
need?
watches
Now you can
over
sell
your
your
body
policy,
and
even a
blaze
term
through,
policy, for an
taking
immediate cash
long,
payment.
even
We thought we had
takes.
planned carefully for our retirement.
But we quickly realized we needed a way to supplement our income.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify to sell your policy. Don't cancel or let your policy lapse without finding out what it's worth. Visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if your policy qualifies. Or call 1-800-515-4100. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
What do I say,
with
Lifetime?
disbelief
I'm
at
a
what would
photographer,
likely
and
be
when
the
I'm
flapping
driving,
head.
I see inspiration
Examining
right
both
through my
sides.
glass. So when my windshield cracked, it had to be fixed right. I scheduled
I hate to cast a pall over your recovery,
Their
but I'm afraid I
experts
have some
replaced my
bad news.
windshield and
The voice
recalibrated my car's
echoes from
advanced safety
inside the
system.
dust. The remains of the steward
Safe Light
of
is the one I
Cadmir.
trust. They focus on safety, so I can focus on this view.
Cadmir has been destroyed. Aethys possessed the statue of Maros Nua and rose from the ground, consuming the souls of all nearby. It is only by the exceptional strength of your soul that you survived. And even then, just barely. The further Aethys withdrew, the weaker you became.
Meanwhile, at Averbo,
We charted this ship and followed him to the
other
Deadfire
vacation rentals
archipelago.
are just for likes.
I know not
Travel
how,
you'll actually
but it
like.
seems he has retained a piece of your soul. And proximity to it
For
has
nearly a
brought you back.
decade, I served in the Navy supporting SEALs. Today, I run Sabo Outdoors with fellow special operations. Our mobile app connects customers with hunting, fishing, and
An
other
older
outdoor
man
experiences.
with ale sour
American
breath
technology has
rubs
been
his
essential
bloodshot
to our
eyes
growth.
and stares
But
at
some
you.
in Washington want to stifle the technology
Thinking,
small
the
businesses
thought of
like
drink
ours
on your
depend
breath
on.
could wake the very
This
dead.
misguided agenda will
Now,
empower
what's
foreign
this about?
adversaries, threaten national security, and destroy jobs. Our leaders need strength, not weakening American technology.
Singing is my career and my calling, but I'm also a mother of 4.
And as entrepreneurs, we weigh the cost of
She
their innocence.
indicates
Medical bills are no
no
longer a worry for our family, so I can focus on my calling.
And our
There are
family.
weapons in the
Joining
armor.
Christian Healthcare Ministries was one of the best decisions we ever made. We're the Blair family, and this is our CHM story.
Missed open enrollment? No problem. Enroll anytime and begin your CHM story today at chministries.org now.
Dispatched from the White House out of desperation. That's what Border Patrol Federal Vice President Art Del Cueto told me just a short time ago this hour, President Biden is being forced to go see the crisis he lit ablaze.
Down to the border because he wants to go down there. That's what it is. And President Biden is going down because he has to. You know, for the last 3 years, he's been saying that the border is secure, that there is no issue. Obviously, everyone in America knows that that is a complete lie. And from day one of this administration, the border has been in chaos, just on his rhetoric. And then he got rid of policies and made it worse. And right now he's going down, you know, pretty much it's the Hail Mary to save, you know, the rest of the campaign.
Lost and alone in the storm.
Bill Maloogian is in Eagle Pass, Texas, where President Donald Trump is set to touch down. Bill.
I'll be taking your
Harris, good morning to you. Former President Trump will be here in Shelby Park this afternoon. This is the high-profile area where Texas came in, kicked out the federal government, locked it down, and there have been very few illegal crossings in this area. Eagle Pass still getting crossings. In the big picture, though, take a look at this graphic. Take a look at the difference between where Trump and Biden are going. Eagle Pass here getting hundreds per day. Brownsville getting a handful per day. In the last 5 days, according to our senior sources, there have been more than 2,000 illegal crossings here in Eagle Pass. You look at Brownsville, just 46. Take a look at Monday. There were 563 here in Eagle Pass. 0 in Brownsville. We'll show you what some of the activity here in Eagle Pass looks like. Take a look at these images. A group of unaccompanied children were apprehended by Border Patrol here in Eagle Pass yesterday. Part of a group of 60 illegal immigrants that crossed. These little kids were ages 5 to 11 from Honduras and Guatemala. They had notes with addresses in both New York and Texas where they're trying to go. They will be handed over to HHS, and then the Biden administration will resettle them in the United States. And as you take a look at this video of former President Trump, again, expected to be out here in Eagle Pass this afternoon, you can expect him to really hammer President Biden on his mass catch and release policy. You can expect him to highlight some of the recent high-profile arrests of illegal immigrants involving violent crimes against Americans all over the country. We caught up with the Border Patrol Union President Brandon Judd a short time ago. He told us that the Biden administration, the White House, didn't even invite the union or reach out to the union before their trip to Brownsville today. Take a listen. President Biden going to Brownsville, did the Border Patrol Union ever get any outreach or invitation from the White House about that visit? Not at all. I didn't expect it. He's not going to listen to voices of reason. He's not going to listen to people that are going to tell him what he actually needs to secure the border, the programs, the operations, the policies. He doesn't want to hear any of that. If he provided me, that's exactly what I would have said.
defend the ship.
And the Border Patrol Union taking a shot at President Biden on X today, writing in a post, "Attention, President Biden, keep your name out of our mouth today." They expect him to bring up the union's support of the failed Senate bipartisan border bill.
Yeah, so they know the truth about him because they know that he's trying to spread lies about the border agents, part of the union, whipping migrants as they come across the border. So, I mean, they know the truth and they know he wasn't honest, or his administration as well was not honest about that. Bill, thank you very much. I want to get now to Mike Pompeo, former Secretary of State and Fox News contributor. It's so good to have you in focus today. First of all, what are we up against in terms of international dangers with an open border, and do you think Biden can hit that?
Well, Harris, you nailed it. You described President Biden as having lit this on fire. It has both a huge domestic implication. You can see this in big cities all across America and at the border, but it does have deep national security implications as well. We know this is also fixable. I'm sure President Biden will play the victim today, but we know precisely the policies that can stop this. But think about this risk. Not only is there this fentanyl coming across the border, killing and poisoning thousands of our kids, we've now had thousands of Chinese nationals crossing in just the last few months when we had fewer than several hundred for the entire last year of the Trump administration. These folks are not coming here full foot. They're coming here with the knowledge of the Chinese Communist Party, perhaps some of them at the direction of the Chinese Communist Party, whether it's the cartels moving drugs and people and the mafia attaching themselves, the Chinese mafia attaching themselves to money laundering for these cartels. The real risk here is that someone on the terror watch list will do real harm in the United States, only accelerate as President Biden refuses to do the baseline task of protecting American sovereignty.
Well, and you and I have talked before about what happens to the vetting process when there is an onslaught of humanity at the border going all over the place except for a checkpoint. Even with the checkpoints in place. They're doing everything else. And the vetting process to find those people on the terror list gets harder and harder and harder. It also is hard to find criminals, apparently. Look at this. Critics now are going after President Biden for ignoring the murder of that Georgia College nursing student by an illegal immigrant. He's the suspect, Jose Ibarra, a Venezuelan national believed to have entered the United States illegally in 2022, accused of killing Laken Riley last week. Blunt force trauma so extreme it disfigured her skull. Biden did not mention her once during his speech about crime yesterday, but he did say
a
that.
lot of sleep so far on this trip.
Our plan's working.
I'd
We
have
still
woke
have
you,
much
but
more to
you
do,
look
as
so
everyone
peaceful
just
with your
takes.
face in the sand.
And that's why we're here today. My administration's going to choose progress over politics.
If you're worried about the shirt, you can stop worrying.
As a result.
It's right over there.
Let's see if that's even possibly true. It's working, he says. Ibarra is one of 4 illegal immigrants charged in recent
So far,
violent
it's
crimes.
just you and me.
2 of them arrested for alleged sex crimes. One suspect is accused of
relief to
killing a
see you awake,
2-year-old
my
little
lady.
boy, Jeremy
I worried you were in for
in
another long
Maryland.
sleep.
And Texas Senator Ted Cruz said this.
This is a pattern we're seeing all across the country now. We're seeing violent crimes, horrific crimes that are committed by illegal aliens that Joe Biden released. When you release violent criminals into our community, Americans are going to be killed, and Joe Biden and every Democrat in Congress bear responsibility for these deaths and these horrific assaults on children.
Spun us round
Secretary
entirely.
Pompeo,
I'd
your
say
thoughts on it?
we're in charted waters. I believe the Valian Trading Company
prayers out
operates
to the
in the
family
region.
of this lovely young woman who was murdered
Hence
by
that
this
little
illegal
visit
alien
from that wretched
directly as
pirate
a result of
captain.
President Biden's failed policies. When I heard his remarks, it's both absurd and indecent.
I'm afraid I
And I
won't be
think
much
it raises the
assistance
blood
in that
pressure
regard.
of every American
And
here
not
that
to
because the
doubt
President of
Master
the United States
Adair's
is lying to
capacity,
them
but
about his
even he would
capacity to
need
protect
supplies.
us. He simply made a decision to allow these folks in, and Senator Cruz had this right. We will see this time and time again. If these policies are not fixed, and we don't listen to
Catching
these
the hard
great
is only the
men and
start.
women working
You're
along
going to
our
need
border,
help
border
getting the
patrol
Defiant out
agents,
to
all
sea
the folks
again.
down there doing
And a
this
crew,
hard
for
work.
that matter.
If we don't give them the power and the capacity to do the most fundamental blocking and tackling to protect America, we're going to see this time and time again. And for the president to tell us his policies are working, it annoys so many of us because we know that America deserves
I don't want to be paddling out
Well,
of
the
here on a
facts don't
salvage
support what
raft.
he's saying. And you said it before. You said that the key policy is that catch and release. We don't know who's been caught and who's
For
released.
now, I'd say your
All
best
right, the
bet
White
is to
House,
find
though,
some kind of
and this is
civilization.
really mind-boggling.
If nothing else, we
They're
may be
now
able to
asking the
hire on
sanctuary
a
cities,
shipment.
and we'll just scroll them because there's so many of them, to play ball with immigration and customs enforcement.
My
ICE,
lady, if it is not
as the
too taxing,
fury
could you
over these
explain how
crimes
it
is now
was
hitting
that you
a
were
new height.
returned to us?
Quote, when a local jurisdiction has information about an individual who could pose a threat to public safety, we want them to share that information with ICE. I remember a time, not too long ago, when the left wanted to abolish ICE.
That isn't much of a choice.
They not only want to abolish ICE, this is a long-standing leftist policy of these sanctuary cities to ignore these very threats. When they caught somebody who was here illegally, they refused to cooperate with ICE. I'm confident in every one of those cities that you're scrolling on your screen that they're still going to ignore this basic function. Not only do we have an illegal alien, we have an illegal alien who is suspected or has been convicted of committing a crime. These sanctuary cities are accelerating. They're throwing gas on the fire, and we will have more of our young people killed through crimes like we saw in Athens, Georgia, and through the drugs that are moving along our country as well. We have to fix this. It is essential to American national security to get this right.
Look, I don't know if you can see this monitor, but this scroll, it'll still be scrolling while we go to commercial. Secretary Pompeo, thank you.
I can see it.
Another blue state has taken Donald Trump off the primary ballot. And on the very same day, the U.S. Supreme Court justices agreed to hear President Trump's immunity case. Why even a loss could be a win for the former president? We'll get into it. Plus, the White House says President Biden is fit for duty. No cognitive test needed at that physical yesterday. Maybe that would have eased voters' worries, though. Maybe not. But it is in the polling that they're worried about it. Power panel now.
There's nothing better than a subway Series footlong, except when you add an all-new footlong sidekick, like the Philly with a new $2 footlong churro.
Sometimes the sidekick is the main event.
You would say that. Every epic footlong
You're
deserves a
looking
perfect
better,
sidekick.
Pussycat.
America's hospitals have been
Worth
pushed
talking
to the
to
brink
you.
by broken supply chains,
It's my
workforce
leg,
shortages,
Matico.
and high
It
inflation.
hurts even worse
More
than
than
it looks.
100 rural hospitals have already
I
closed,
wasn't planning
and
on
many
going for
more
a run,
operate
Casita.
anyway. Now, some in Congress want to reduce billions of dollars in funding
It
for
still
patient
hurts,
care.
but I can manage
This
from
will
here.
jeopardize
I
patient
guess you know.
access to quality care,
Have you
especially
found
in
any of the
underserved
others yet?
communities.
I'll start a
Congress
fire.
protect
If
patient
any of the
access to
others are out
24/7
there,
hospital
hopefully
care.
they'll see it and
Every
turn up.
day, more dog people and more vets are deciding it's time for a fresh approach to pet food. They're quitting the kibble and kicking the cans and feeding their dogs dog food that's actually, well, food. Developed with vets, made from real meat and veggies, portioned for your
Might
dog,
have a fight on
and
our
delivered right to your door. It's smarter, healthier pet food. Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/realfood.
The 1878 to 1921 Oregon silver dollar, a true American classic and one of the most iconic silver dollar coins in history. It has been over 100 years since the last Oregon silver dollar coin was struck for circulation, but now, for a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government struck Morgan dollars are being released to the public. That's right, you can own a full pound of 1878 to 1921 classic American Morgan silver dollar coins, all in very good collector condition with fully visible dates and mint marks, guaranteed. Call 1-800-333-2210 now to secure collector-grade U.S. Morgan silver dollars by the pound, struck during the Wild West and the Gilded Age. Plus, receive a bonus American Collector's Pack valued at over $25 free with every order. Call 1-800-333-2210 now to secure your full pound bag of Morgan silver dollar coins before they are gone. 1-800-333-2210. That's 1-800-333-2210.
My plane has a mechanical problem. I'm trying to get
I was able to calm one of the boars with a spell. For a time, at
having a
least.
chauffeur
I
car
remained
plane
here,
side
hoping he would return quickly.
He
He has not.
with all the plane shortages,
After
did
we
you
made
ever know
landfall,
about
you
it?
mean?
I never have.
I woke and Theodore was close by. Sweating fit and rain on it, I came over this way in hopes of gathering some of that blood moss over there.
Do we have a deal?
I thought it might be
Let's
of
check the
use.
meters today.
I imagine the boars have the same idea.
Most important moments of your life.
For a complimentary flight.
I will make for the campfire. I must get this pistol clean if it's going to be of any use. Be careful in there, Captain.
2, take out an average of $70,000. 3, pay off your credit card.
Call 1-888-985-1371.
Emily, Harris, and Kaylee. They're taking on the hot topics with powerful perspective and smart insight you'll only get on Outnumbered. Weekdays at 12 on Fox News Channel.
Didn't think death would be so boring.
Captain Marvel, we need you to save the world.
This is just the beginning.
The only way to stop her is together.
Further, faster.
Let's save the game.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join.
And we'll see you next time, alright guys? Peace out. Stay tuned.
Our country. Oh yeah, and our Member program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us